Hey, what's happening? Welcome to Maych TV. So, Virgil Van Dijk has done an interview with LiverpoolFC.com talking about his recovery from the ACL injury that absolutely ruined our entire lives and what that means for him, his recovery, how he ends up back in the Liverpool team, and of course, that he will not be figuring for the Netherlands at Euro 2021. Great. I mean, how much was it going to cost to rebrand that? Probably quite a bit. Look, yeah, it's a thing. There's a number of Liverpool players. We've got a number of questions about when it comes to this summer, what it means for their prospects of being Liverpool players moving forward as well. I want to discuss them on this video today. But first, there is the whole DL show this week over on the Super 6 channel. Me and Chris not involved this week. Don't let that put you off. The guys involved are all fantastic, of course. They're having a really, really interesting debate about the greatest Premier League teams of all time. And we just let them argue out amongst themselves. We all know the real answer. And it would be a struggle to say it was Liverpool. Yeah, if only they just won the league this season, that would have been great. Look, anyway, here's a clip.
One of the things that you've got to remember as well, you look at the Arsenal team, we didn't create that team with money. We didn't create that team and go, you know what, let's go out and just buy this player, this player, this player, this player. That will be the one thing that always gets held at Manchester City. I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah,
Look, right now, I would love Arsenal right now to go out and spend £200-300 million to make us better again. Not a problem.
Yeah, check it out. Go to the Super 6 channel. Say Maych sent you. Give me some support and then decide which of them holds the L. That's entirely up to you, but it's cool. Good show. It'll be either me or Chris back on there next week as well. So yeah, do subscribe to the channel while you're there. Yes, Virgil has made the bold proclamation that he will not be going to the Euros. And I'll be honest, there's a little part of me that went from being like this. I didn't even realise it. Didn't even realise I was holding myself like this, but I went, I didn't know. It's a bit weird. It's a bit like when you're in a really, really, really loud room and then you walk out of that loud room and you go, oh, wow, it's like getting brain power back. You weren't aware of quite how much of your body was responding to the stimuli of the world around you and how much more relaxing it was to not be involved in that anymore. And yeah, I mean, what Virgil's done is he stopped, a month potentially, maybe a couple of weeks at best, of us going, every single time he approached the ball. Now, we're going to have that next season, so why would we want it in the summer as well? Now, obviously, I'm not Dutch. Shock. So I imagine, the reaction to this would be different if I was from Holland, although maybe not. The Dutch and their famous relaxed temperament might not be quite as wound up about this anyway. But the point is, I think Virgil's done the right thing here. I think he's taken the right decision. And maybe not for for his career. Look, footballers, I think we forget sometimes, we get very lost in our love of our club sides. We do. I'm a staunch Liverpool fan. England, they're fine. They're fine. There were years in my childhood where I really loved watching England games. I did. Me and my dad watching World Cup '98, watching Maych alone, tearing apart Argentina, getting upset at the knockouts and all that kind of stuff. As I've gotten older, I've become more jaded. I'm literally forensically covering Liverpool for 11 years of my life. Yeah. More football doesn't become something. So international football's fallen by the wayside. And so I'm not the best judge. I'm not the most neutral judge when it comes to things. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, Liverpool players should just completely sack off international footy and just focus entirely on Liverpool, because that's the footy that I watch. That's the footy that gives me emotional feelings. And that's the footy that when you find a player go in international duty, Joe Gomez, anyone, Jamie Redknapp, anyone, any number of players, anyone that we've had over the years, and they come back and it ruins your season because of that. That international football just feels like a massive pain in the arse. But I understand, from a professional perspective. I look at, not sure what the equivalents are in my industry. There was the Football Blogger Awards. Nice to win an award, but there isn't like a fan channel call up. There isn't I don't get a phone call from Spencer and he's like, right, Paul, you're coming to the big leagues. No, it doesn't work like that, so I can't really put it into play. But I think about being, we've all been kids, right? We all remember growing up. We remember the process always was, particularly when I was growing up, England was followed. You were a local boyhood hero, you got in your local boyhood team, and then you went and were a star for England as well. It followed that way. That was a natural progression. So, I as a kid playing football in the street and playing for Sunday league teams, so I would have wanted to play for England, absolutely wants to play for you, and people will have always wanted to play for the national teams. So I think Virgil van Dijk will be disappointed. I think he absolutely will. With him in the side, any team is improved, and they've got as good a side, a good chance as any of winning the Euros. So he will have a tinge of disappointment. But I do think it's a sensible move from a physiological perspective, and particularly from Liverpool's perspective. We have a lot of these debates about the assets. When we look at like footballers and the contracts and what they're paid and who pays them, Liverpool pay Virgil van Dijk. Let's be perfectly honest. He belongs to Liverpool right now at this time in his career, and Liverpool are the ones who take the gamble, they take the risk. And do Liverpool want to risk jeopardising another season because they've gone, go on, Virg, go on. I don't really want you to. Probably if you pass away, you really want to. It was a bit shit, isn't it? You could have a really better holiday instead. Liverpool could have let him go, but if he then gets damaged, well, Holland go. What do Holland do? Whoops, soz Liverpool, or maybe some compensation. No compensation's going to compensate for the lack of Virgil van Dijk. So it's a shame for him, and the good thing about it, if you get this right, and Liverpool will want to do everything in their power to just get him wrapped up, make sure he has the best treatment that money can buy, because this is not just some just a kid or down the lower league. This is the best defender on the planet. This is one of the best players. If Lionel Messi had this situation, I've said this before, people put Messi and Ronaldo and all that kind of thing, but Van Dijk is to the other end of the pitch what Messi and Ronaldo are to the attacking end of the pitch. He just is, and you would do everything in your power. And you'd want to make sure that every single drop of him, if it was put back in the exact, every atom was constructed exactly as it was, and you run the risk of losing sight of that if you hand him over to a different medical team. And I think there'll be a conversation with Virgil there, and they say that, look, right, if we do this and we do this right, a few things get to happen. You get to avenge what has been a terrible season for Liverpool, and you get back into the fight of getting Liverpool back to the pinnacle of English football. Go and take the fight back to Manchester City. If we get this right, we're going to add time to your career, because if we get it wrong, it's going to shorten your career. Absolutely. I mean, for God's sake, Liverpool turned their back on Nabil Fekir because he'd had a cruciate injury. Now, it's obviously not going to be exactly the same, but the point remains, I'm sure you get what I'm trying to say with that, is that there are medical issues there that can go on and can cause problems. And if Liverpool get it right, they'll be saying, we get this right, Virgil, you will have the World Cup. And if we get it really right, you will definitely have the next Euros. And you know what? My God, if we treat this pair and everything goes right, and we do everything in our power, which we're going to do, you might even get another tournament after that. You might. But if you don't do this right, and you run yourself down, and you make life hard for yourself, and you just have even a slight setback, you might undo all of that chance. And there's an interesting point. So we did a show on the Redmen TV streaming service, the redmentv.com, and Dan Kennett from Anfield Index made the point that he wonders whether there's been a deal done with his contract renewals upcoming, where you say, miss the Euros and we'll give you another year on your contract. Smart, potentially. We'll see how that unfolds, of course, in the coming days and weeks. But as far as I'm concerned, brilliant. And obviously, the other news sort of attached to this, Jordan Henderson, Klopp said he's not going to be available. Easy for me to say, available to figure for Liverpool for the rest of this season. Which you go, the rest of the season, he's been out for ages, and there's not very much left in the season. But he's apparently on the rehab trail. He's been out on the pitch doing running and stuff, so he will be available for the Euros. I think this is really interesting, because I think there's a couple of players out there. Virgil's made that decision, and I wonder what Jordan does. I wonder what he does in this regard. And I think a lot of this will be dependent upon how he is, and how physical he is, and how he feels. Because no one wants to get Liverpool back to being the best team in the country, and the best team in Europe, and the best team in the world again, as much as Jordan Henderson. They just don't. It's quite interesting. So there's a project coming up which I can't reveal too much on right now. But let's just say I had a little chat with just a little casual chat with Jurgen Klopp yesterday. Weird, it's true. And the way he talks about Jordan Henderson this season, and how incredibly pissed off Jordan Henderson is to not be able to play, and when he's playing, to have to deal with how shit the situation is and all that. He wants to drag Liverpool back into this, and I just wonder whether there will be a conversation in the coming weeks between Klopp and Southgate and the medical teams, and and just what Jordan wants. Jordan Henderson at this point can do whatever he wants, and this is not me trying to put pressure on him to avoid the Euros. No, not at all. I love Jordan Henderson. He's probably my favourite player, probably my favourite Liverpool player at the moment, and has been for a few years. He deserves every success in his career, and I think it would be amazing for him to have an opportunity at lifting the Euros with England. But again, my selfish streak kicks in and just thinks, oh, if you could just have a summer off and just come back and just give a little bit more. I don't know. But again, maybe there's a deal where you say this is the last one and then you dedicate your career to Liverpool after that. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts on it, particularly the Virgil stuff. Are you pleased that you made up? Are you Dutch and pissed off? Are you Dutch and chill? Are you Dutch and happy? What are your thoughts on Virgil's decision to not go to the Euros? Do remember, of course, to go and check out the whole DL show. And I've mentioned the Red News Roundup show. I own the Redmen TV. Most of it, of course, you will know this. But we have our own streaming service, our own streaming platform. It's web-based at the moment. It's theredmentv.com. We've got loads of exclusive content. The Klopp chat that I was having, it wasn't for nothing. It's for something a little bit special. It's coming up. There is a teaser going live Thursday lunchtime on the Redmen social accounts. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. But yeah, perfect time to sign up on there if you want more Liverpool content, not just more of me and more of Chris and more just chatting about Liverpool, but like documentaries, interviews, features. As I say, it's a Liverpool streaming service, so do get involved with all of that. But yeah, amazing. Have a great day, have a great week, have a great life. I'll see you all soon on the channel. Nice one.